I never thought I'd be the kind of person who would owe their life to artificial intelligence. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 32, a freelance graphic designer from Portland, Oregon. I've always considered myself healthy. Yoga on weekends, smoothie bowls, regular checkups. Nothing ever seemed off until it was. It started with something simple, fatigue. At first, I blamed it on work. I had just wrapped up a stressful project, working late nights, surviving on coffee and deadlines. But then came the joint pain in my wrists, knees, even my jaw. I'd wake up feeling like I'd been in a car crash. Some days I couldn't even lift my coffee mug without my hand shaking. Then came the low-grade fevers, the rashes that appeared and disappeared like ghosts. I chalked it up to stress. I didn't want to be dramatic, until one morning, I passed out while brushing my teeth. That's when things got serious. Over the next 11 months, I saw 6 doctors. Each ran tests, blood work, X-rays, CT scans, MRIs. Every time, the results came back as inconclusive or normal. One doctor suggested it was fibromyalgia. Another said chronic fatigue syndrome. One even implied it was in my head. I was prescribed painkillers, antidepressants, sleeping pills. None of them helped. I started to doubt myself. Was I imagining all this? I lost friends. I couldn't work. I cried in my car after appointments. My life was slipping away, and no one knew why. I was invisible. It was a rainy Tuesday when I ended up in the ER again. I had a 103-degree fever, severe chest pain, and couldn't breathe properly. They ran more tests. Again, we don't see anything life-threatening, they said. That night, lying in a hospital bed, something inside me snapped. I didn't want to die, but I felt like I was being erased. Then a nurse, maybe in her mid-40s, walked in. Her name was Gina. She looked tired but kind. She'd overheard the doctors talking outside. You ever tried running your case through an AI diagnostic tool? She asked quietly. There's one in the hospital system now. It's experimental, but it sees patterns humans can't. I nodded, because why not? What did I have to lose? They wheeled in a screen. It wasn't flashy, just a dark interface with glowing blue text. IMED v3.1 Diagnostic Intelligence. They uploaded my full medical history, 200+ pages of notes, lab results, symptom logs, imaging scans. The screen blinked for a while. Then it started asking questions. Not multiple choice. Open-ended. I had to describe my symptoms in my own words. It analyzed my voice, my tone, my phrasing. It asked about when the pain started, how it changed during the day, what made it worse, how I slept, what foods I ate, even the emotional toll. It wasn't cold. It felt attentive, like it was actually listening. After 17 minutes, it paused. A soft chime sounded. Preliminary diagnostic probability, 94.8%. Adult onset Still's disease. Still's disease. I'd never even heard of it. The doctors outside were skeptical at first, but one of them looked it up. Classic autoimmune disorder. Rare, often misdiagnosed. All my symptoms matched. Every one. They ran a ferritin test. My levels were off the charts. 3,800 ml. Normal is under 150. It was a match. Within 48 hours, I was started on corticosteroids and an IL-1 receptor antagonist. The fever vanished. The joint pain eased. I could breathe again. It was like stepping out of a nightmare. My real diagnosis had been hiding in plain sight, buried under years of guesswork and well-meaning confusion. And the only doctor who saw through it wasn't even human. 6 months later, I'm back to work. I do light yoga again. I laugh. I sleep. I live. That I didn't just save my life. It gave it back to me. And here's what I think about sometimes. If Gina hadn't mentioned it, if the eye hadn't been available, if I continued through that maze of misdiagnosis, would I still be here? Probably not. I still check in with my rheumatologist every month. And guess what? The hospital now uses iMed by default for complex cases. They even printed my case for their grand rounds. This isn't about replacing doctors. It's about empowering them. I didn't treat me, but it saw me. It saw what others missed. It connected the dots across 1,000 data points with no ego, no assumptions. It didn't guess. It calculated. And it was right. To anyone out there still searching for answers, don't give up. Technology isn't magic, but sometimes it's exactly what we need. Because sometimes the smartest mind in the room doesn't wear a lab coat. Sometimes it glows.